strap yourself in for Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral.
Welcome back to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral. Hey, this is going to be a fun one because today's
We're the fun ones. We are the fun people.
This almost the expectations of this one has to be funnier because it's called "Are we having fun yet?"
Oh, well, the fun police are here. Yeah. Why is it important that we talk about fun?
Oh, because we want to talk about the importance of fun at work.
Oh,
because I think there's a lot of people that think just because it's business, you can't have fun.
There's no
which
fun.
we are calling bullshit on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sucks to be them.
We're going to do sucks to be dead. It was like, yes, it
and
probably
that too.
does suck to be dead.
Mind you, they could be having fun.
Okay, so why is it important to have fun at work, Jac? You're the doctor, Jac. Research. Digger's coming in. Digger's coming in to have a,
Well, he likes fun.
Yeah.
When I arrived today, I put my pot plant on the verge of the road because I bring in the pot plant that sits behind us. And
my
Digger
pot
raced
plants-
out, lifted his leg and weed on the plant.
I know.
And then looked at me and smiled. He was having fun.
Imagine if we could all be like dogs with our tails wagging so people knew
how
how
happy
we were not.
I'm pleased I'm not like Digger because the last time Digger lifted his bum and his tail, he farted.
If you want to go back and watch a previous episode, you can almost
see my face
see
when
the
it happened.
pinpoint on Jac's face. When
Okay, we digress. We've already lowered the tone entirely by talking about Digger's weeing on my plant and farting. The importance of fun at work. I can tell immediately if I'm going to fit a culture or work well in a place by the sort of moods I receive when I walk into a place. If there isn't laughter and some lightness and some fun within the first sort of hour, this is not my place. Or I have a place to make it fun. So the importance of fun at work. Well, there is a bit of research around this, Ral. I'm so pleased you ask, and I did digress. Moods improve in a fun environment. When you're laughing and you're having fun, your stress levels drop.
wow, and we talked about that
Have you
last
guessed
episode.
what? Laughter releases endorphins. It gives you energy. It eases tension and it relaxes your body. And you think about that. When people are laughing, they're not generally tense. They're open. They're relaxed.
Yeah.
They're holding their bellies.
I think one of the things I talk about in public speaking is try to get yourself and the audience laughing initially, but the laughing of yourself, because that's exactly what happens when you laugh. It releases tension, manages your energy, stress, so it's good. It's good for everyone.
When I was learning to be a radio announcer a million years ago, they used to say, talk with a smile. Smile a lot when you're talking because people will actually hear a happier sound.
Yeah.
So there is something about it. So the other benefit of actually having fun at work and bringing in, laughter and humour is that you actually think more clearly.
Wow.
You remember things more often.
Okay. Yeah.
So you concentrate better. So how good's that? I mean, there's a whole lot of benefits of just actually enjoying your environment or enjoying the people that you're with and having fun. The other great line that I've never forgotten, I learned it years ago, which is laughter is the shortest connection between two people.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't know about you, but I'm highly attracted to people who are funny.
Yeah.
Witty, clever, fun, light-hearted people.
Yeah,
I love them.
Same. And it's interesting, you just said two things that made me think of when I do my training workshops and my keynote, I am deliberately making them funny. Like, clearly I am naturally funny, but I'm deliberately making them funny and for two reasons. The one you just talked about, the connection?
Recall.
Connection
Shortest connection
between two people is humour. So if you're making people laugh,
You're connecting with you.
you're connecting with them so quickly, which is important when you're a speaker. But the other thing is the recall. So I truly believe that if you can educate people in an entertaining way, they're going to take more of that information in. And so, the Air New Zealand, I've always loved the Air New Zealand safety ads because they're really, really funny.
Fabulous.
And what does my head in business where people would go like compliance training, for example, just make it funny.
Yeah.
Like if you made it funny, you wouldn't have a big issue of getting people to do compliance
Very
training.
true. They'd enjoy it. They'd look forward to it.
Yeah.
Humour in advertising is awesome, and that's again comes back to recall, right? You actually so when I think of what's funny in advertising, can you remember the double Amy ads with Rhonda and Katut?
Yes.
Round like a sunrise. I mean, just silly things.
Yeah.
But they bring joy, so you remember them.
Yep.
So if you want to be remembered,
Yeah.
and you want to connect with people, use humour.
Connection and memorable. Also, too, when you were just going back to talk about it relieves stress and stuff, it did make me think a lot of like doctors and nurses and police officers have to deal with like some pretty tough stuff. They use a lot of black humour, and it's like, I know we shouldn't be laughing at this, but they do because
how they cope.
It's how they cope.
Absolutely. Got a darling friend who's been a paramedic for many, many years and seen some dreadful scenarios, as you can imagine. And she's one of the funniest people I know, and she brings humour, and she said it was humour that kept her and her partner on the road and other colleagues in the ambulance, coping. It's really important, really important.
Yep.
I reckon I never got to work with you when you were at the bank because I didn't know you back then. It was once you went out on your own, and I liked you immediately. Again, that connection thing because you were funny. Mm-hmm. But I reckon you might have been a bit of fun at work. I might have liked to have worked with you in an office.
I was probably too much fun.
No such thing.
I remember, first of all, when I first dated Steve, he worked with the girl that I used to go to school with we sort of found out after a while. And he asked Sinead, her name was, what was Ral like at school? And she said, she was always the class clown. And I went, really? Was I? And no, of course I was. But I remember my first job.
I love it, which means it came naturally, right? Because you're questioning it, was I? People thought I was funny.
And when I think about it, of course, I used to, I would always be the kid at the back that would time falling off their chair just enough to disrupt
attention seeker. One of 8, wasn't getting much love at home.
And wonder why I failed school.
Wow.
But I do remember being the first job I was in. So I was 18 and I was funny. And I got called into my manager's office and he sat me down.
Ooh.
And he said,
This sounds serious.
Well, he was really serious. And he said, we do not pay you to be the office clown. And he was really serious. And I had to do my best not to laugh because he was being so serious. And then I said to him, but I'm not charging you extra for it.
Did he crack a smile? Did he laugh?
Naturally. No, I can't remember him laughing. And then anyway, I could not resist the temptation. So as I walked out of the office being told off
for being the class clown.
For being the office clown. I walked out of the office and pretended to trip over my feet and do a big roll and then sort of did the ta-da. And he just looked at me like...
Rolled his eyes.
He rolled his eyes.
How long did you last at that job?
I didn't last very long.
This is my point.
Yeah.
This is my point.
Yeah, I didn't last very long.
No.
I had to take my humour somewhere where it's appreciated.
Absolutely. Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah.
They say that... people without a sense of humour are not good. And what I mean by that is they did a whole lot of stuff on Hitler and he never had a sense of humour. Serial killers often don't have a sense of humour. It is a red flag for serious concern.
Oh, right. So if you work with someone who's really serious, they're a serial killer.
Well,
hey, hang on.
No, I think you can be really serious and still have a sense of humour. These are people without a sense of humour.
Right. What about Joker from Batman? He was pretty funny.
Well, there you are. So he's not a serial killer. Well,
he wasn't true.
True.
He was a made-up character.
He was a fictional character. But what is it about humour? Well, it actually gives you perspective, and that is so true. So you think and I know you do this. I certainly do it in an intense situation, in a situation where there's a lot of sadness. The best thing to do is to bring some lightness. It has to be appropriate, but it can actually diffuse a whole lot of things. It can reduce stress. It can actually help people feel better. So not a wonder we want to be around people that are funny and that bring humour and fun to environments because they make us feel better.
I remember when I did leave that job, the office clown job. Money wasn't paying that well after all. And that's when I went and worked for NAB, and it was a shift work. So there was 5 shifts, and our shift had a reputation of being like just laughing too much.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember we had
Laughing too much.
Like you're laughing too much. It was like, oh my God. This guy had to come in and was relieving us. He was the relief manager, and he said that this is what he was told, that we muck around all the time.
Ooh.
And then, because we were mainframe computer operator, so when the computers went down, you were like
shit hit the
on.
fan.
It was
Absolutely.
on. It was like it was like a fireman. You're sitting around doing nothing for a
for a
long
long time. Yeah.
And this happened, and because we laugh a lot, connection, teamwork, we all did it. And when it was all resolved after a few hours, he just came in and said he has never seen a team work so better together. And you know, I spoke to him later, and he goes, yeah, maybe that bad reputation of you guys having fun means when it's you need to, you pull together. And he literally said, I've never seen a team pull together.
Great
like
example. If we just unpack that just for a second, the point of that is you had a lot of fun together when it was appropriate, and by having a lot of fun together, you were more deeply connected.
Yes.
You had perspective.
Yep.
People felt good. They wanted to be there. They turned up. They were engaged, so that when you were needed and you needed to come together, and maybe not laughing at this point because the computers are down, we've got to work on this, you absolutely rallied.
Yeah.
There's something in it.
And I think that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about you got to be the office clown all the time.
That's right.
There'll be moments, but I still think in business, we think because it's business, serious, it's got to be very serious, that we can't have fun. And it was like, seriously, no one wants to work for people who aren't enjoying. And
No.
Yeah.
One of the things I do when clients come to me and we're coaching is I actually assess their joy levels, yeah?
Yeah.
And most of them when they're coming to me, not all, plenty of people come to me when things are going really well in their life and they're just on the front foot and wanting to think about career transition or other things, so they're not always unhappy. But the ones that are unhappy, I always note that, and we start talking, and there's absolutely humour there. They are absolutely people that enjoy life and that have experienced joy, but it's gone. And they're wondering why they're feeling so bad.
Yeah.
They're not laughing.
They're not laughing.
They're not finding humour and lightness in things. Everything's difficult. Everything's stressful.
Yeah. I imagine it like if
It's a lifesaver, humour.
If you're in a job, I reckon if you're in a job right now, just ask yourself, are we having fun yet?
I'll be happy.
And if you go through days where you're not having fun,
Yeah.
my God.
That's a good point. Perspective. You might not be, clutching at your sides every hour of every
it's
day.
not
I mean,
belly
there's work
laughing.
to be done, and it would shit me if I was a leader of an organisation or a team and they only ever laughed and there wasn't a lot of work getting done and there wasn't quiet time for people to concentrate and think about things and have good conversations. We're not suggesting that, but there has to be lightness and there has to be humour during the day, most days.
Yeah.
So if you're not having that most days, you might question your environment because your environment, as we have discussed in so many different episodes, the last one, energy management, stress, the whole bit, if that's not serving you well, then it can make you sick.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it's bringing some lightness. Since you've been, since you left corporate, Jac, and have been out on your own, you're very active on LinkedIn and Instagram, and, what I notice is you do some really insightful posts where you bring in research and stuff like that. But then you have some really light ones.
Crackers.
Like I reckon your memes and the stuff you put on LinkedIn, I chuckle to myself so much.
Good.
And it's become part of your brand. Well, yes, you're a serious coach and you help people, but there's humour and there's lightness about it. Some of your memes you put out just, I seriously make me
I'm so
almost
pleased you mentioned that.
spit my coffee across my keyboard.
I get that feedback a bit. And I think, again, back to your point, business doesn't have to always be serious, yeah? LinkedIn tends to be a fairly serious platform, yeah?
Yes.
It's a business platform and it has a very good purpose and we love it. But let's bring some light and some laughter. And what I'm normally channeling is either an experience I've had or I have seen something that has made me laugh and I figure tribe, probably similar to me, that's why they're following me, give them, share the love, share the laughter.
Yeah.
Did I tell you about the one that I just posted this morning?
No, I haven't seen the one this morning.
Last week, I I was talking about. I used to work with this guy called Jono. He was so funny, and Jono was never ever going to run anything because people thought he was too relaxed and not taking work seriously. Go, Jono.
That sounds
work
familiar.
is work.
Sounds like me.
I was going to say, not a wonder Jono and I were great mates. Anyway, there was one afternoon and, we didn't have a lot to do. We were pretty efficient and productive, actually, when I think back. So we weren't being engaged enough or optimised for output. Anyway, we were starting to come up with a few ideas of funny email sign-offs, and we came up with a whole range. So I put those on LinkedIn because, some people are just interesting in what they sign off. I always say cheers. Other people say best. I know a few people that say best and then their name.
Is that always like, is that short for, has that become short for best regards?
I think so. So everything's now shortened.
So
some
people even say BR, like an acronym, best
it'll
regards. Oh my God.
Be like Jerry Seinfeld.
Yes.
Anyway, so it might be blah, 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 best Keelan. Well, I've seen a better one, Keelan. So you say sign off best and then underneath of the best.
Best of the best.
How's that for an email sign off?
I might do that. What, actually, that just reminds me of when I was young.
Still are.
But single. So, I'd go out, you'd go out to, pubs and,
Yeah, you what? Have a drink?
Men have a drink.
Oh, you used to drink, did you?
Men would come up and, have a chat, boys. And whenever they would ask my name, I'd always say, my name's Gillette.
Hang on. So they'd say, oh, so who are you? What's your name?
And I'd go, Gillette.
Gillette.
The best a man can get.
Did Steve fall for that one?
Clearly.
You never said that to Steve.
No, I never said that to him.
Steve would have looked at you and went, what? You're a wanker. Oh, that's a good one, Gillette.
Anyway, that reminded me. Best of the best. I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Did you make up the Gillette, the best? That was an advertising tagline.
That was the advertising tag. I
came up with that.
I came up with that.
Very funny.
Bloody
very,
genius.
very funny. Okay, so one of the things I note is if I walk into an office and no one's laughing, run for the door or make it my mission to make them laugh because that's going to make them do a whole lot of things. It's going to improve their mood. It's going to reduce their stress. It's going to release endorphins. We're going to have more energy. We're going to ease tension, less stress in the body. We will have better memory recall. We'll be able to concentrate better. There are some serious researched facts of better output and better productivity at work if you are laughing. So there's a whole lot of reasons to do that.
Yeah.
Another story. I feel that you've got one.
I just got one to tell you. I had that look of let me say something.
No, I'm just thinking of
So when you just said, lightness, it was like I've spoken about my keynote. When I do a keynote, I want this to be the funniest keynote anyone's heard. Well, maybe not ever, but, that year.
Good stuff.
When I go into meetings, like when I meet with clients, just part of me, and it's not about, I just want this to be a really, really good experience.
Yeah.
And so
memorable.
there's lightness and memorable. So I'm, I don't mind using humour, but even emails, and you just reminded me of one when this was a brand new client and I had not even met them. And I'd been booked for a keynote and they wanted to know how to say my surname. So they probably had a little thing like you where you could never say my surname. But they were asking me on email, and I'm going, well, how do I describe it on email? Because I said
say your
how
name.
to say my name. So I said it's Dolan, rhymes with colon, and then I thought in my head, should I say
full of shit?
It means full of shit, right? And then I'm thinking, I don't even know this person. So I said, and I'm going to resist the urge to say because I'm full of shit. So I clearly said it, but I said it. Anyway, she wrote back and going, oh my God, this email has made me laugh out loud. It has made my day. And it was like, so.
I bet you're still working with that client today.
Yes. And they could have been going, oh, I better not say it because,
that's something as I've gotten older, and I probably started earlier than most. There's one way to find out who your tribe is.
Yeah.
And that's to say things like that.
Yeah. And if they get offended,
then they're not your people.
Because
they're not your people.
It's only a matter of time you're going to offend them, unless you try to be something
especially
different.
us. We offend them in the first minute.
Even emails like your out of office message. Oh my God,
you can have such fun with out of office messages.
I had to do one the other week, and it was like I feel like I've put so much pressure on myself to make it funny.
Each one's got to get better and better and better. You can have a lot of fun with out of office, particularly on public holidays and things.
Yeah,
I agree. Okay, Dolan colon. Yeah, that's how I do do remember your surname, and you are full of shit. But that's why I love you. And look, you know, what do they say? Beauty fades, but humour's forever, baby.
Well, thank God for that.
Yeah, we're not winning beauty contests, but we might. Hey, comedy. You went and studied comedy. I just
did.
remembered that.
Yeah, yes. Because,
Hang on, are we having fun yet? There is a tie here.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? Remind me.
Well, again, because I was doing my keynotes and I know they were a little bit funny, but because I knew what I spoke about before, if you funny makes it engaging, makes how people connect to you, connect to the message, I went and did a comedy course to learn the art of telling a joke more effectively. Because
and there is an art
There is
to
an
this.
art. Now, I'm not suggesting everyone has to do that, but it's just it could just be lightness, like just having lightness in what you do.
Yeah. Bring some joy to others.
Bring some joy. Okay.
All right.
So what are our tips and techniques?
All right. Well,
What
first
are
of
the
all,
tips?
share this humorous podcast with others and bring them some lightness on a
actually.
Monday morning. Hello, make it a happy Monday.
Do that. Like if you
There's a start.
if you've laughed at this podcast, share it with other people and go, hey, thought you might like to start your week with something funny.
Keeping it real with Jac and Ral.
Well, you know, if you don't think it's funny, then
Another
piss
tip.
off. What are you listening to us for?
Oh, God, don't upset everybody. Tips and techniques. Okay, so life is short, right? Have perspective. Have some fun.
Yeah.
Make somebody laugh. Bring some lightness and joy to somebody in your workplace, whether that be online, maybe you're working remotely, or in an office.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Just because it's business and it could be very serious, it doesn't mean it has to be not funny.
And I think if you are a leader of a team, of a function, of a company, you have even more of an onus to bring lightness and laughter and set the scene.
Well, a leader sets the
tone.
tone for everything,
Correct.
right? A leader, you know, the leader sets the culture.
Absolutely.
And what do you want your people walking around thinking they can't laugh out loud because it might disturb someone?
Well, if you want a connection with your people,
Yeah.
make them laugh.
Make them laugh.
You've also got to be a bit smart, a bit intelligent to tell a good joke and to be funny. So I think it says a lot about your intelligence. So that's not a bad thing. So today, your mission, listeners, is to go and make people laugh, to go and actually bring some lightness and joy and to have some fun. And I think we should finish with a joke at the end of this episode so that people can have a bit of a giggle on a Monday. So I want you to tell me the joke about the polar bear.
Oh, the polar bear. It's a goodie. It's an oldie but a goodie. You might have heard about it. Let's go. We're going to end. We're going to end on a joke. Pressure.
Righto. Make it a good one. We've told them that's going to be good. You better do it well.
So there's this little baby polar bear. And he goes up to his mum and he went, Mum, are you sure I'm a polar bear? The mother goes, of course you're a polar bear. Like, your father's a polar bear, I'm a polar bear, you're a polar bear. And he went, but are you sure I'm not a black bear or a brown bear? And she's going, no, you're not a black bear or a brown bear, you're white. You're a white bear. You're a polar bear. I'm a polar bear. Your father's a polar bear. You're a polar bear. She goes, why are you asking me these questions? And he went, because I'm fucking cold.
Happy Monday. Keeping it real with Jac and Ral. See you next week.
Bye.
You've been listening to another episode of Keeping It Real with Jac and Ral. If you like what you've heard, don't forget to tell others about it and give a 5-star review. They may seem confident, but they really are sensitive 5-star needy souls. Yeah, right. Keeping It Real, created by Jack Phillips and Gabriel Dolan. Produced by Keelan Ferrari Brown. And this really real voiceover, spoken by Richard Phillips.